All right, let's get started. I'll try to keep this short and sweet. We are back. I don't even know how long ago. 8 months ago. We're back to Norroth once again, spying on its players. I've been waiting for this. I've been watching for this for months because I figured eventually the developer would put Smart Look back in, right? And lo and behold, today I noticed it, and here it is. What he's doing is he's recording every action I do. If you're a player of Norroth and you're wondering, is the developer invading your privacy, I'm going to show you how to see that. So if you go, depending on your browser, I'm in Chrome, so you can go View, then Developers, and open up your developer tools, and you'll see this panel that appears on the bottom of my screen. Now if you go over to Network, you'll watch every few seconds you get a whole bunch of pings, right? There's one updating the chat, there's one updating the map, and then I saw this right, and right when the page loads, you see this kind of like active question mark project key. Let's see if I can show that for you guys. That's Smart Look activating, and then right after it, you get this right. And now what an application like Smart Look does is it basically takes a screenshot of this, because what it's doing is it's recording your entire play session as almost like a gigantic animated GIF for a developer, because ethically this can be used this can be extremely helpful for a developer and a user when it's done with consent, properly, to see what your users are experiencing and how they're doing it. But anyway, that's not the case of what's happening here. Actually, I'm going to go on a tangent in a moment because I think I understand why the developer of this game is actually doing this. So if you're curious, so you see, and there's a whole bunch of calls here. So one of the really nice things about the dev tools is you can have this filter here, and if you just type in smart, let's see, smart, that's going to isolate all the calls to just the Smart Look calls, right? So here we go with, here's Smart Look activating. I've got this another one called website. It says, okay, true, recording allowed, true. I didn't allow it to record, but that's, there he goes, app.smartlook, recording, store group 30D, record network false, right host, so he's writing a Smart Look. Yeah, max duration, let's see, 300,000. That's probably in, what do you think, microseconds? Record timeout. So he's probably recording for 5 minutes at a time, right? That would probably make sense. So he's recording max, let's see, max session duration, max recording, max session duration, 3600. So that's 3600. So what was that, about an hour or so? Session timeout, record console, identify API false. Now you can, on any of these calls, if you don't want to be tracked, you can right click on any of them, and you guys don't see the modal on the stream. But what you do see is you see a modal where it says open a new tab, clear browser cache, clear browser cookies. And the fifth option down is block request URL. You can actually block your browser communicating to Smart Look. You have that agency over your browser to decide what you can and can't communicate to. And let's be very clear. This is not at all an essential cookie or essential service for Norroth to run. This is analytics and tracking that is beyond what they need for the service to run. Now, to also, in case this whole dev tools thing is too complicated, and that's just fine. What you can do is you can go up to in Chrome and Firefox. All browsers allow you to view the source of a web page loaded in your browser executing on your computer. You can go to View, and in this case, View Developers, View Source, and you see a line like this. Right? It's a long line, and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? You just do find, find, and you just type in the term smart. And there it is. It appears 5 times on the page. Here's a window.smartlook. Right? A lot of the code the developer tries to hide. He tries to obfuscate it. That he started doing a few. He started doing it a few months ago after we were helpful and fixed his bugs. He decided he didn't want us helping him anymore, so he hid his code from us, which I'm sure is gonna definitely help in the future. Because the last time I helped him, I made a YouTube recording of it that's not public, but I sent it to him and staff. Where he basically was giving away unlimited premium currency because he didn't know how to implement a paywall correctly. So now he obfuscates all his code, which I'm sure that'll work out really well for him. Anyway, you can find that SmartLook is right here, and it's initialized, and there's the recorder.js, and there's the API key he uses, and there's my name, my identity of Tempest. So all my actions, everything it's recording is attributing to me. This is identical to the video from 8 months ago. What has changed? And I've already checked in with a couple of their players. They're not seeing anything like this. Hold on just a second. Anyway, so you can go ahead and you can right click these and block, but as I've asked a couple here, let me just grab sorry. As I've noted, this probably isn't happening to any of you, because for the players that I've asked, the other players are not noticing SmartLook there. So he's just targeting me, and I think I realize now, Twin Eagle, the developer of Norroth, is spying on my play sessions because he realizes how good of a developer I am, and the other players that have since sort of like left the game and have given him advice. He's too shy to ask us how can he make his game better, and so he simply resorted to spying on me, and that's fine. I'm gonna take it as a huge you're welcome, Twin. We're all out here trying to make your game better. I even just so he understands, I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen, I've tried to spell out hi Twin with my inventory, so that he knows how welcome, because I get it. My advice is so helpful to Norroth. He's decided to spy on my play sessions. Just me. I totally get that, and it's flattering, to be honest. So anyway, that's just amazing. I will say a couple things in chat that came up kind of recently. I noticed that today, kind of since Halloween, so almost for like a month now, there's only been maybe 5 total events, 2 of which he triggered today. So I don't know what that says about the health of how the event system is working when the players you have are not really doing them. I'll let you ponder on that. I have some ideas, but I don't want to solve all of your problems for you. What I will say is, about a week ago, I noticed someone was noticing that no one seems to be using the wishing well anymore. That's because, just so everyone knows, the wishing well was nerfed, and of course not announced that it was changed, but it was made worse, and the players responded by no longer engaging with it. So I mean, that's pretty standard for content in Norroth. It's made worse, and then people stop using it. It was used quite a bit. It was actually quite fun. For a little bit of currency, you can go ahead and trigger a 10-minute boost. Now I'm going to tell you, a 10-minute boost in Norroth is not exploitable in any sort of way. This is a game that has taken me an entire year to hit 100 in mining. We're talking about, what is that? hundreds and hundreds of hours. So 10 minutes of boost is what many people thought was fun, especially that like 2/3 of the boosts are completely useless to any one person at any one time. When the refining boost goes off or the crafting boost goes off, if no one's ready to take advantage of that, it takes you 10 minutes just to get back to town, get your proper equipment, get over to the crafter, and then what do you have? Like you craft like 10 things? Like, okay. So to be honest, like it was just sort of fun to see that stuff pop, pop, pop in chat. It used to pop, pop, pop in Discord, but apparently that was too much noise. And I guess the whole system, Twin just felt like he was just giving too much away. So he just decided, screw it, no one should have fun at all. And that's the current state of the Wishing Well in Norroth. Now, just so everyone understands, in Raccooth, which may look the same because we use the same art program for the maps, but pretty much everything else is a bit different. Our Wishing Well system will not punish players or make people feel like they've wasted their currency or wasted their time. You will always get a guaranteed prize, and you will always get something that ends up benefiting the whole community, as a whole. So I think intrinsically people will want to participate in the Raccooth Wishing Well, and I think it'll be a fun part of the game. In Norroth, they've just added it as a daily because no one was engaging with it. So now they're going to try to trick you or entice you into doing that. So, okay, great. What else happened in Norroth recently? I don't know. As you see, I'm still banned from talking. I'm banned for 13 years for chat. I did try to reach out to Twin. I don't really feel like I can show the Discord logs, but I reached out to Twin on the 15th of November asking for some explanation about what has happened because no one has told me why I'm banned in Discord or muted in the game. I just reached out now because I noticed that Smart Look was reinstalled, and I said, hey, Smart Look's reinstalled, but now I get the message that my messages aren't going through to Twin anymore. So sometime between the 15th and now, he's restricted it to just his friends, which is, yeah, that's pretty par for the course. 2022 was a Nerf fiesta. I mean, to be honest, and this is the brilliance of Twin. And I guess everyone over here at Raccooth really needs to give Twin kind of a round of applause. If it wasn't for the nerfs and the designs of Norroth, I don't know that we'd have Raccooth today. I want everyone to understand that, right? Raccooth came from a place of, wow, there could be something special, but there's just not. And the number of people that are involved, Spider, Alk, all these people that have been burned and shunned and kicked out and banned from Norroth for absolutely, whatever, I would say that it's not a big deal. Obviously, other people's feelings were hurt, and that's fine. Everyone, whatever. But I'm just going to say, had it not been for that, we wouldn't have Raccooth, right? If we hadn't, thought of how guilds should be designed, and I'll just say right now, that was, let's show, I don't think anyone, we have waited a year for this big reveal. Hold on, where can I go to my guild? I don't know that this is really well known. Okay, where is it? Is it the temple? Is this okay? So before I reveal this, whenever someone asked, "Is guilds worth it?" it was told that there were going to be boosts. There was going to be some boosts. There would be some reason why you are spending hundreds of hours collecting materials, turning them in, building these these temples and these headquarters and these libraries. Like there was going to be some reason, and we were told there was going to be boosts, and so I think the Guild Temple is the one that has, I believe this is it, that's going to finally give us, it's finally going to give us that like whatever 0.5% magic find per level. So hold on just a second, I'm going to catch up on chat here. Oh yeah, Zod played for a little bit. I know Zod from IQ. I think you're also on Ellie. The same one from Norroth. Yeah. So here we go. And I think this is this it? All right. Here we go. Not only do you have to grind for absolute months to unlock this, but when you do, the boosts in this game aren't even permanent. Do you guys see this? They're not even permanent. If you want to, so can I understand, does this thing get better? Does the percent get better? Increase the amount of worship gained by 1%. Increase all okay, so there it is. The Shrine of Luck. 5.5% per level. Okay, cool. So we can get the 2.5 up to 3 and 3.5, right? This only gets better if you... What do you have to do? Does someone have to come in here each day or every few days and give more of this? And I'm sure at a higher level these go up. This is like tier 1 stuff. This is mucky. But you have to pay. You have to pay for the boost. For those of you that play Elithor, IQ, Queslar, whatever, Liriana, and all those other games. Oh, it's broken? You can't even offer it? So you can't even, like... Can I not even... Oh, if I click it... Oh, that's bad. So when I clicked it, it just, like... It just refreshes the page. I bet... I'm going to assume, of course, because this is Norroth, every line of code was tested. Every little bit of code was tested. I just want to say, like, how... Okay, well, let's be honest. They didn't expect anyone to get to this point anyways within like a year. So it actually doesn't surprise me that there's bugs, of course, within the one building that anyone playing this game actually wants. The temple is by far the most valuable building, and of course it's bugged. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? I will also say I would do a bug report. I would do a bug report here, but guess what, guys? I'm just gonna say, you reported it 3 days ago, still not fixed. I'm gonna tell you guys something. Oh cool, follower goal met 50-50. Holy shit, I got 50 followers. That's awesome. I'm gonna tell you guys something. I think I have a special place in Twin's heart, because when you... Okay, first off, I love how there's another bug here where I make the suggestion form drives the bug form. Like, anyway, I tried to report that. Okay, when a normal player makes a suggestion, this shows up on Discord. Right? My suggestions do not show up on Discord. He has somehow blocked my account to do this. I'm just so curious. Like if you guys make a suggestion right now, just, I don't know, something like, make it something positive, like we should have more than just the pink butterfly, that there should be blue or yellow butterflies around, You know, and I just want to say here, I'll do it too. There should be more than one color of butterfly. Let's just try. Let's just try. Let's just try. Let's just why. Does anyone see it in Discord? Did it come through? But if you guys send a suggestion. So you have to understand, like, there's not even like these are going to him and he's seeing them and choosing to ignore them. I'm just straight up blocked in this game, but this developer really wants to know what I'm doing with my play session. I think he really wants to make Norroth better and is too afraid and shy, and that's why I make the videos, Twin. I mean, that's why I do this recording, right? I am recording. This is going to YouTube, yeah. That's why I make the video, so that you have an opportunity to really hear with my voice rather than just recording my screen, you know, what the hell to do with your game. Now, over on Raccooth is going to be a free-to-play game. We are wrestling around the idea of maybe a little battle pass or a little subscription. The only reason there is because unlike a solo developer, I'll be honest, I could do the project solo, but it's just not as fun as working with a team. And I do have some team members that need some financial support, and you know, the game obviously has some hosting costs, and it'll be something very low. I was noticing like Norroth is about $10 a month, Elithor is like $8 a month. I think if and when this thing launches, not if, but when, and probably a few months later, something like $5 a month or something like that. Nothing, and to be honest, nothing pay to win. But I'll be transparent with that now. There are some operating costs, but there'll be plenty of pay to win stuff. What I will say is we have a robust sprite engine, allowing thousands of different sprites, character customizations. All of that is basically free. It's going to be achievement and earned and dropped. Drop driven, kind of like the transmog system in World of Warcraft or a New World. So you'll be able to look different than any other character that you want. You can choose hundreds of variations on everything about your character: skin color, hair color, armor, all sorts of stuff. The second thing is we're gonna have a wishing well. That's going to make sense. That's actually going to make sense. I remember talking a long time ago, and I honestly think Twin thinks he's trolling the community with the wishing wells. I think that's his stance on it, and that's really unfortunate. But anyway, here, you know, we got a mini map. All right, we got a mini map that updates. So. You know, in Norroth, there's, I don't know, I guess that's not working when you're in your little guild space. Let me go back. This is just a small screenshot. So basically, I'll be completely frank with everyone. I think Norroth has a lot. Oh yeah, here it is. All of Twin's characters have to move now. I love how he does this like every day to make it seem like the game is really popular. So he'll move all his characters so this happens. Oh, that was the other thing. Do you guys see the glow effect on all those characters? Yeah, that's a really easy thing to do. And on the dev stream for Raccooth, I showed how to do this. So I'll provide that sample code if there's any dev program, game devs or other web devs that want to get that glow effect. If you, as a Raccooth player, want to have a glow effect, I'm not going to fucking sell it to you. I'm going to reward it to you based off something. Let's see. What else? I just want to point out, like, during the latest Halloween event, which honestly I think was probably the best organized Halloween event, because of course Twin, being a solo developer, does have a staff helping him, and that's really cool, right? That's why Slyboots is like, hey, teams work. I don't think there's anything fun to brag about being alone in anything. I think you can, if you really want to retain control over every little minute detail. At the end of the day, I don't really think your players really care. They want a good quality game supported by, supported, and ideally that means a team. But the Halloween event, everything you could earn, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but every single thing you could earn from the events was for sale with money. You could just buy the same level of achievement as playing the game. So one of the things, if you've watched how like Lost Ark and New World and some of the WoW stuff with all these different mounts and cosmetics, some of the cosmetics you pay for are cool. A big motivator for cosmetics in general, though, is a status symbol. And in the games, generally that means I have earned that thing. I've played the game to earn that status. So when you undermine that meaning by allowing it to be bought, then it doesn't really motivate people to play your game. And it's not as cool of an achievement. Like, if the only way to get those Halloween achievements was to actually grind at the event, then people would have grinded at the Halloween event. Which is, of course, you would have probably made more money with that, because the only way to then make the event go off was to have the pumpkin shards drop, which means people needed to spend money to trigger the rains. But instead, if you're like, screw it, let me just spend the whatever dollar and I'll just get the whatever. All right, man. Anyway, you're not giving your players a great experience. All right. See you later, Zod. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry. I was on a bit of a roll there, so I'm going to go back on. Oh, it's a pie, yeah. I believe there's something with the boats that may be premium currency. I don't know. Oh, but Expeditions was delayed, which was really unfortunate because, we're going to come out with our Expeditions. Raccooth's coming out with Expeditions. Competition between these two games, listen, I don't care. Like, Raccooth is going to be fucking amazing. I'm having a blast coding it. Everything you see here, by the way, this is like 3 days worth of coding. We're probably at like a week now. That says some like networking stuff. We've also got like a character creation screen. Oh, I'm just excited. Like, we're not capping you at one character and then charging you like $7 per character slot. You want to create like 8 characters? Create eight characters. Like, have fun with the game. Like, it's just lines in a database. The hell do I care if you have 1 or 8 characters? Like, create 8 characters. Yeah. Broken can't be. Imagine the cost goes higher with upgrades. Yeah, that's the cost to keep it running. Let's see. Hold on. I'm just catching up. Yeah, I gave Twin, at this point, I gave Twin more money than many of the supporters. I think the only there's only like maybe 3 people that have outspent me, 4 people that have outspent me. I'm not going to say I'm embarrassed, and I'm not going to say I regret anything. At the time, I'm an adult. I'm going to take ownership of that. I supported a dev that I love the fact that in game right now, people are giving me congratulations, but I can't talk to them. There's no way. Like, I can't even I can't use the market in Discord. Like, I can't I can use the auction house in game. And by the way, I'm just waiting for this whole screen to just like turn off and just get banned. Like, I'm that. I'm just waiting for that. Let's see. You can pay with race case of purchase, bro. Yep. Let's see. Sorry, I want to test it. Yeah. Yeah. The IQ dev is definitely Carl. Carl definitely has. He's going through a few things that makes it difficult for him to develop. I forgot I was running an XP token here. I'm just going to run one of these. I'm going to use one of these experience tokens so I get the maximum amount of this amazing Norroth experience. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, yeah, I just want to go over. So the whole drama in my mind about this whole spying on me business is the fact that in the Netherlands, in the EU, and world, especially in the, there's a thing called the GDPR. It's the laws pertaining to how cookies and third-party tracking should be governed. You have to consent to third-party cookies. Now let's be clear. Raccooth will use Google Firebase to authenticate you and store your session. This is what's called an essential cookie, because without this cookie, I cannot tell that you are logged in. Okay? An essential cookie does not require your permission to be installed on your browser. Okay? I have to let you know that I'm doing it, and I have to let you know what that cookie is doing and what I'm doing with that information. But I don't need to show you a cookie banner, and I don't need to give you the ability to opt out. Okay? That's an essential cookie to keep your logged in state to the game. Okay? Non-essential cookies are things like Google Analytics. In this case, SmartLook. SmartLook is not essential to the running of this website. Therefore, if you want to install a cookie and track me, you need to get my permission. What if I told you guys that SmartLook was actually so professional about this? Their own site, when you visit it for the first time, pops a freaking cookie wall or a cookie consent banner to inform you. And this is what Norroth should have to be like. And this is the thing, guys, for all of you who may ever see this video that decide to give Twin money through Patreon, right? Maybe you guys use your voice to get him to at least obey the basic laws here, right? And be a competent dev. Like there's nothing cool about not understanding how to do this. So, right? Strictly necessary cookies are always active. I can't opt out of those. Strictly necessary cookies are what I said, those essential cookies. So if I was a customer of SmartLook, that would be a cookie that would keep my logged in state. Performance cookies allow us to count visits and traffic sources, and targeting cookies that are used by the advertising partners. So SmartLook is this. SmartLook is considered a performance cookie on Norroth. And what this SmartLook consent form allows me to do is I can turn it on or I can turn it off. Okay? This is what Norroth does do. And even if I consent to it now, I can come back here and turn it off later. Okay? This is not complicated. When I tried to ask Twin about this, he told me to go speak to a lawyer. That's amazing that Twin spent, and to be clear, I guess, to those of you that are Patreon supporters giving this developer money, he's spending your money going to lawyers to figure this shit out. I mean, okay, if you consider that as a good investment of your money to figure this shit out, good, consult a lawyer, absolutely. However, I would ask that even after he's gone to his lawyers, he still seems to not at all implement anything that looks coherent. Now, on top of that, and this is also something you wonderful Patreon supporters can figure out, he is spending your money because this is not a free. This is not a free service. He's spending the Patreon money. Ooh, look at this. Oh, maybe he's in the free tier because he's just spying on me. I don't know. Let's see. Sessions a month, 1,500 data retention. Oh, maybe he's in the free tier. Cool. Oh, what did the Patreon funds went to? Oh, they go to the Facebook ads. Like if you Google Norroth doesn't show up anywhere. Right? If you Google Norroth, you get his paid video advert. Then you get all the videos I've made on Norroth. Many of them were helpful at the time. Let's see. Do you even find the game? The game is number 1. Then you find the Facebook page, the Twitter, the Instagram, and a bunch of PPG stuff. Like he doesn't. When you build a website and launch like a game, there's 2 types of traffic. There's organic traffic and there's paid traffic. Organic traffic is that which is found naturally through search engines, right? Or like links for like if you had like a pbbg.com and entry that listed Norroth and you click that link, that's organic. Then there's paid traffic. Norroth has something like, let's find out. Can I need to go to the leaderboard. Let's find out how many players are here. Keep in mind, everything I'm about to do is completely allowed and legal. If you are scared or don't know what I'm doing, please don't overreact and tell Twin I'm hacking. For some reason, I absolutely believe people would do that. Let's see. If I was to click this, inspect user, there we go. So inspect user 467. All right. So this is Dragon. And if I put a 0 at the end of that, here we go. Oh, Grevner, he's on right now. He is user 4,670. Okay. If I go up to people, okay, this was like joined. Okay, this is a month ago. So let's assume we're at like what 5,200 users now. Nope, not 5,200. Okay, that was too many. What about 49? That's the 15th. What about just 5,000? Did he break 5,000 users? Yep, that was the 21st. 51. Nope. Okay, I think I already did that one. Okay, so what are we at? 80, 90. Now, nothing I'm doing, I'm not doing anything. I mean, this is just the modal that loads in the game. I'm just loading it manually. Like, this is the same information anyone in the game can access. Like, I'm not doing anything freaking sneaky, guys. Oh, there we go. Wow. Okay, this is so cool. We have what? This person joined. Okay, this like now, right? Okay, now these players are brand new players. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There's our total. There's we go. So again, at verbal chat, 6 referrals. Yeah, I know. And that's the unfortunate part, that Twin is paying for all of his traffic. Like, you ask anyone how they came into the game, most of them are saying Facebook ads, Facebook ads, Facebook ads. So he's paying for sprite art. I'm getting like almost all my sprite art for free. And it's free open source game assets or stuff that I've purchased that is like in bulk, and so it's affordable. The maps are made with Incarnate, so they look great. And I'm making them, you know, and Rinzai is making them and stuff like that, and yeah, it's just great. So he has 51 now. When let's see, hold on, let me see. I want to check how many players did he have. I think he's been sinking a ton of money into Norroth. What is it? Norroth by the numbers. Norroth by the numbers. That's, yeah, Norroth by the numbers was my video. I made. So at this point, okay. So this was 5 months ago. 5 months ago, Norroth had 2,900 accounts. Okay. Since then, it has gone up to, it is now, I could take a look at these accounts. I should do a Norroth by the numbers 2.0. Now that I've said that and it's on video, I'm sure I'll be banned and blocked in every single way so that I can't do that. But, you know, it's publicly available in information. 5131. That's how many users he has. Now, I will say, while he may have doubled his accounts, I think we have probably half as many active players. We have essentially, what, the 20 Patreon supporters and very few other people. In 5 months, that's too many. I mean, he's paying for the traffic. He's paying for all the traffic. So if you ever go to the Norroth Discord, the Norroth Discord had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Hundreds of people. And one day, they actually blocked. They made it so that you could only chat if you accepted the new terms of service. Well, guess what that did to all the bots? It excluded all the bots. And for the first time in a year or since launch, we saw that there was maybe only 40 or so active accounts in the Norroth Discord. Not 600, not 700, 40. Right? So what he's doing is he's buying traffic. People are coming in, they're creating an account, they're because it used to announce every time someone made a character, but I think he got trolled a couple times on that. So now you have to make it to the first town to get an achievement, and it announces it with the character, with the account name, not even with the character. So I mean, even now in that Discord, I'm sure there's like 600-700 accounts, 700 accounts or so. But if you look at like who's actively participating, up until the moment I got banned, 645. Up until the moment I got banned, there was maybe, there were days that no one chatted in that Discord. And I'm just saying, like, it is what it is. I'm not trying to beat up on him. I guess the whole point of bringing this up was just that folks like Spider, folks like Alk, folks like, myself, all these other people that have really just wanted a great game, folks like Zod that were just looking for a great game and not wanting to deal with bullshit and ridiculousness, ended up getting burned. And it's unfortunate, right? There could have been something good in Norroth, but whatever. We'll bring them over to Raccooth, and we'll all have a great time in Raccooth. I heard expeditions got delayed. This was the thing that was teased as group content, but really it was just events. It was events. It's just the event system, but okay, man. Here's some unsolicited advice about expeditions. From what I understand with expeditions, there's a chance. Yeah, 80% of the time was us posting recommendations. Yep. It's what I understand is this is how expeditions was going to work. You were going to have to grind for a map, then organize a party and go on the expedition. Okay? You were going to earn a certain amount of treasure. And then upon returning from your treasure island back home, there was a chance pirates could encounter you and steal your treasure. Hi guys, I want you to understand something. I've been designing games for 20 plus years. There are so many ideas that on the face of it look interesting, sound unique, sound fascinating. I can imagine how that staff meeting went. We're going to let the players get the treasure, and then there'll be it'll be exciting. There'll be a little bit of extra risk. You're going to have to defend your boat against the pirates that are going to want to come and take your treasure. I want you guys to understand the developer of this game is designing a way that even after you accumulate the treasure from the event that you earned, there's a chance that it will be taken from you. Let that settle in and then ask yourself, does that sound like fun? Does that sound like fun? Does that sound like this kind of mechanic that an idle game or a casual, whatever this is, RPG needs? Right? That after you spent all that time gathering the resources to even go on this adventure thing, actually organized enough with enough players that you could actually do this, that you could lose your entire bounty. So talk about respecting your time and wasting or versus wasting your time. Right? Kind of works like a success and fail system, X amount of percent. I mean, so there are so many. I remember, like, viscerally. In one of these days, I'll tell you about some of the time I spent. I was up in Vancouver, BC as a game designer. Vancouver, British Columbia, up in Canada, popping off with startups and game developers. They have a game developer like college up there. Anyway, some of those like meet and greet. I forget what you call them, like the meetups. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a really interesting time. What I will say is that, I mean, if that then they do it when you're getting the loot and not when you see, that's what I mean. You want pirates to come and ambush you on the island and make it part of the challenge of accumulating your treasure. Awesome. But what you're setting up is that you are at some point telling the player, hey, you've accumulated this amount of treasure. And granted, I've not seen expeditions. This is just what I kind of understand it to be. That you may not actually return home with your loot. Like, imagine right now if that worked in Norroth. After going out and gathering from a location, if on the way back from that mine you encountered a random ambush mob, and if you died, you lost your inventory, would that seem like a good idea? And I just want to say that is the best idea that this developer has come up with. And this is why it is helpful to have a group of folks give critical feedback, give constructive criticism, and help design systems and mechanics that are fun, that are balanced. Nothing that Slyboots does, I do in a vacuum. I bounce every single fucking idea off of Renzai, off of Alk, off of anyone that's in our Discord that'll listen. You know, I take in all of that feedback and design a system that I think is immersive and that I think is enjoyable and that I think, you know, and that's the thing, right? Like, I want to make sure folks are having a good time versus, you know, trying to, I don't know, like punish people or try to think I can come up with, like, I've invented a whole new way of doing video games and a whole new way of doing idle. It's just that's yikes. Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah, this was good. Yeah, and just to kind of close out this, I know we're kind of talking about a bunch of things here, but yeah, I'll probably go here in the next couple minutes. I love that I'm being recorded again. It's been a great time. Let's see if he's still doing this. Let's go. Let's see. Bam. Let's see if it still pops up. Oh, guys, it's off. Guys, he turned it off. You see this? It's off. I wonder if I'm banned. Maybe. No, it's loading the map still. Wild. Look at that. Right on stream. Live. We're no longer being tracked. Look at that. Here, hold on. Oh, nope. There it is. It started up. Ooh, it started up 2 instances. Oh, man. I thought he was going to do the right thing. But he decided not to. That's fine. Let's see. Yeah, it's still there in the source code. It just took a minute. I will just say, in case anyone's wondering, the GDPR, in case you guys, in case you think cookie guidelines are too difficult for web developers, anyone wanting to get into web development now needs to know about this. This is not something that is that complicated. It is pretty straightforward. There are checklists about how to properly deal with privacy and user tracking. So what Norroth does is Norroth, and I understand I took like a good half-hour tangent here trying to connect the dots. Norroth does not let you log in to the site unless you agree to all the terms. Now, if you remember the Smart Look pop-up, the Smart Look pop-up said you had to consent to the always-on cookies, the essential cookies. But the other 2 you could turn off, and I consented to that, right? And I bet if I go down to the bottom of this page, cookie settings, boom. This is what Norroth doesn't provide, as far as I know, right? I can turn those things off, confirm my choices. Boom, I just turned off that, and guess what? It's still going to let me use the site. That's amazing. How difficult was that? If you block someone from using your service because they have not accepted your non-essential cookies, you have put in a cookie wall. A cookie wall is a pop-up on a website that blocks a user from accessing the website until he or she consents to placing of tracking cookies or similar technology. I was told by the developer to speak to a lawyer because, to the best of their knowledge, this, it's right here. Dutch Data Protection Authority publishes guidance that considers the cookie wall in violation of GDPR. Norroth.com is taking your money and is in violation of its own privacy laws of its country and that of the European Union. Under current Dutch law, and I will say you're not powerless. Listen, if one wanted to, you could report him. You can report any site that is going to violate is going to break the law. Right? And other authorities can review on whether or not your claim is correct. As far as I know, a takedown request for Norroth, this has been reported now for what, 5 months, eight months, and he hasn't fixed it. He knows it's a problem. His staff knows it's a problem. It's been brought up multiple times. It was brought up by Zod just last week, I believe. The only way to remedy to get your privacy, really, at this point, feels like a takedown request from his web host for them to investigate this. And that's not like a threat or anything. I'm just saying you, as a user of a website, have rights, right? The national governments say that. The EU says that. It's right here. Under current Dutch law, functional and analytic cookies must be can be used. Functional, tracking cookies may only be used if a visitor has given consent. Yep. The use of a cookie wall result in a take it or leave it approach. Right? That's what the front page of Norroth does. Here, we'll just do this. This is a take it or leave it approach. You either have to accept all of them, or if you reject, you cannot log in. I cannot make this more simple. You guys can see the difference between that Smart Look pop-up and the Norroth one. The guidance from the Dutch government saying this is illegal, and Twin's refusal to adopt this. To be fair, the fact that you are even informed he's tracking you at all and you have to consent is a result of my video 8 months ago. He is closer to compliance now. He was far out of compliance then. I have made Norroth, and the pressure of folks watching the video and asking about privacy and even leaving the game because they didn't feel like their privacy was met. And I've talked to at least 2 or 3 players that have left the game specifically for this reason. I think it's pretty important, but at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's just a game. But they were just like, yeah, they didn't trust Twin at all, and so they just left. So I can't kind of explain this we and selected, so this isn't even like a proper sentence. We and selected third-party use cookies. I think he's messed up. It should say we use selected third-party cookies or similar technologies for technical purposes and with your consent for other purposes specified in the cookie policy. Denying consent may result in features unavailable. That is allowed if certain features needed those analytical cookies. I could see that being a thing. You can't block the whole service. You can't block the whole site. That doesn't make any sense. If there was a dashboard in Norroth that showed some stats that were the result of what the analytical, so imagine if Norroth showed you sort of like an XP gain per hour over a month, and he used something like Google Analytics to track that, then that would be like, hey, if you don't let us track it, then we can't show you your data graph. Okay. But that's not what's happening here. You can consent to the use of such technologies by the accept button, and by closing you may continue without accepting. Cool. Now I want to log in. Right? Oh, right. Hold on. I'm not gonna do that here. So, and if I go down to the bottom of the page, okay, we have the cookie policy, which, you know, he says, I mean, right? I think I've made what? At least I did at least 2, maybe 3 videos on this. I did one specifically on the cookie policies and stuff like that. So this does look good, right? He's separating out the functional cookies, the analytical cookies, the tracking cookies. So yeah, we use Smart Look for this purpose, an analytical cookie, right? But as we know, analytics is not an essential cookie. It's not a functional cookie. He says it right here. Functional, necessary for the proper functioning of the website and to make the website user-friendly. For example, they remember that your password or your preferred settings, such as the language in which you want to read the website. Other parties have no access to the data collected by these cookies. Perfect. You don't have to consent to that. I mean, there's no toggle there, right? If you use the website, you agree that functional cookies can be there. But the second part, analytics, it's right there, man. Anyway, so this is a good time. Norroth is back to its old tricks. It's kind of unfortunate that he's decided to do that. I want to believe it's because Twin acknowledges that I am such a good developer, that he has a lot to learn from the former staff, former players, and other developers who have tried over the years to help him. He is a little shy, everyone. He is a little shy and won't just come out and say, I need help. And that's fine. I think what we're going to do, I think this is, I think this is just what has to happen. Let me just, there we go. I think he could probably learn a lot by watching how Raccooth grows. And I'm not saying this out of spite or being petty. Raccooth will have everything that Norroth has. All the parts that the players have actually deemed worthy. We're not going to take away your teleport and scam you on the new teleport costs. That's a complete scam. It's just terrible. Hold on just a second. I'm not going to try to nickel and dime you with a whole bunch of microtransactions. The game's not going to be pay to win. I'm not going to release a leaderboard that measures alignment, but not put good aligned mobs into the game. Norroth just released a new leaderboard in which evil characters can't compete because Twin hasn't put in the proper mobs for evil aligned players. And when asked about it, he's just laughed. From what I understand, the last 2 times this was brought up, he just mocks the players that ask, hey, where are the T6 good mobs, right? So, whatever. Raccooth is going to do everything that Norroth has. We're going to do events. We're going to do Wishing Well. We're going to do group combat right out the gate. We're going to have parties. It's going to work on mobile really well. And I'm not afraid about putting out a mobile app. I think that's incredible to reach both performance for your mobile, so you're not having to download, because these maps from Incarnate can get quite large in file size. So let's put out a mobile app so it's a better experience for the players. We're going to have dungeons. We're going to have upgrades. We're not going to waste all your time with all the grindy shit. I'm not going to fill your inventory. I'm also not going to cap your inventory with slots. We're not going to cap your, there'll be some other things that'll kind of create boundaries, but I don't know the number of times I'm opened. I've seen new players come into the game, and one of the first things they deal with is the fact that the game doesn't give you enough inventory. It gives you too many items. It's just a terrible experience. So we're definitely not. We're going to have a much better experience than that. And we're going to have quests. It's been a year. I think there's been 2 quests that have been added in a whole year, and it's really unfortunate because I see these players that have spent probably 2, 3, maybe 4 hours grinding away at Norroth, and then they actually run out of content. And at that point, I'll ask Twin and staff, are you guys looking at your data? Are you looking at your analytics? Are you seeing that these players have dropped off? They're stopped playing. There's no perceived content after you do that tree quest or whatever. There's just not. Every tier should have its own quest line. I mean, this is the thing. Why is it this difficult to put content into the game? What I heard he's doing now, instead of expeditions, people were talking about group content. He's like, I'm doing expeditions. And then that's what's said in chat over and over and over. And then all of a sudden it's, expeditions, there's too many what ifs. So he's now copying the Labyrinth from IQ. Right? He's doing the Spire from Elithor. He's doing Torghast from WoW. Right? He's going to do a Labyrinth. He's going to do some tower. Right? Where each room has its own challenges and puzzles. I'm like, okay, man, we're going to get in there. Fight a mob, go to the next level. Fight a mob, go to the next level. It's not group content. People can do that now. You already have dailies. You already have the order boards. You're talking about putting in the bounty board. So do that. No one's asking for the IQ labyrinth. Elithor does that as a wall, but also works out. Oh yes, with the Elithor quests. Yeah, the dailies and weeklies and how they pace combat upgrades based off that. Absolutely, I would say the way Elithor has doing their economy and balances is very different. But it does work out. I see a lot of people very focused on that. Every aspect of what folks find useful in Norroth, we will do in Raccooth. The most obvious things that people find intriguing about Norroth is the visual aspect. I'm going to show you what you see on screen right now. Even like, let me just walk around a bit. I mean, I got pathfinding on here. Let me talk to this mob for a second. I got quests on here, right? I'm going to talk to the smith, do some upgrades, right? We got all our sprite art in here, all our upgrades and stuff. What you're seeing is the result of about a week. I mean, we just had the Thanksgiving holiday, so everything got really screwed up here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But I would say about a week of off and on dev work. And this isn't even like anything. This is just one map. We have our sprite builder to build out hundreds of different mobs. Every mob in the game will look unique. And allowing players to change their own sprites whenever they want. I mean, that's the thing. The only way to play a mage in Norroth is to play as a woman in very revealing clothing for the sex appeal. Like, personally, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to play that character. I want to play a magic user, but you're forcing me to play as the scantily clad woman. And so I bought the, where's my character here? Can you guys see that? Hold on. I mean, it's still right. It's still the female character there. But I bought. I paid money to at least have my character on screen be that guy. Oh, is no one else here mining? Wow. When no one else is at the mining, that's interesting. No one else logged in at the top mining spot, the best place to get money. Interesting. Okay, I'm the only one here. Anyway. The character creation allows you to choose gender, but both appear as female. Oh, that's true too. Well, they took that out because a lot of people kept asking, right? Because everyone kept asking, why when I select male does my character come out looking like female? Why? And it's like, listen, I'm not trying to ask too much from a developer, I don't think. I'm not generally this demanding of other developers. I accept whatever they're putting out there with their time works. This is also a developer who seems to have a little bit of a vendetta against me, and I don't really understand why. Just really tried to help his game, and I have to say I've done a pretty good job at helping Norroth, considering the amount of changes that have gone in over the past year. So I think if we look at the data, I think I'm pretty spot on with my feedback. I think the other former staff and other players have been spot on with their feedback too. It's just, yeah. Anyway, I'm really excited for Raccooth. I think this is going to be great. I think we're going to launch expeditions before the end of the new year. I think eventually we'll get some ship to ship battles. We're going to have some pirate theme stuff. We're going to have some island theme stuff. I think it'll be healthy for both games to have a little bit of competition between them in the visual kind of like online role play game. I'm not going to say Raccooth is an MMO. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that Norroth claims that. MMO stands for massively multiplayer. We're talking about games that can handle hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, even just thousands of players. It's an online role play game. It means it's online. right? It's a PBBG. It's got a persistent browser-based game. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how these two games exist side by side. And I know it will be flattering and should not be unexpected if Raccooth does things properly, if Twin is a good developer, he will look at Raccooth and copy some of the things, be inspired by systems that work, and that should guide Norroth to be a better game. In a weirdly tangential way, I'm trying to make a point that the only way that any of us can make Norroth better is to literally build another game and show him what we were trying to say the whole time, right? Myself, Chosen, Alk, Zod, Spider. Yeah, I think I'm going to give Spider a chance to write some quests for Raccooth. He wrote some quests for Norroth. And I'd love to have him try to write some quests for Raccooth. So, anyway, we'll leave it at that. I'm just excited to be on Twin's radar again with him recording my game sessions. I think we'll just check in on this every now and then and see what's going on. For those of you interested in playing Raccooth, stay looped in to our Discord. The link is up above. I think this next week will be a bit busy, but I'm really excited about December. I really feel like we can launch by the end of the month. We're going to allow you to, let me see, I'm going to log out for a sec. You can play with email. Hold on, let me just do this for a sec. You can play with email, right? Or you can continue as a guest. We're going to ask you what your name is, what you want to do, combat or gathering, and if you like battling, do you want to be a tank, a DPS, or support? And then when you answer, you can create your character. If you would prefer to be a gatherer, then do you want to do pickaxe? Oh, I misspelled that. Pickaxe and shovel for mining, axes and hatchets for wood cutting, hook, line, sinker for fishing. And you can pick one of those. The game is going to be like, I think at the moment, it's going to be like Elithor, where two of your characters can be playing at any one time. And by playing, I mean generally they're idling, right? There'll be one combat, one gathering. So like Elithor, I want to avoid the conflict you see in IQ where people are debating which is better, battling and gathering. And the reason why that comes up is because folks are feeling like they're missing out on some resource or not making the best choices with where to do their investments. I don't see that come up so much with Elithor, and I think it makes a little bit more sense. You make your combat decisions, you make your gathering decisions. Everyone can do both. You get to participate in everything you need to upgrade your gear and the mineral economy. So here I want to do the same thing. At a minimum, you should have two characters. You should have a gatherer, and you should have a battler, right? The gathering for the skills, I mean, it doesn't matter too much. This is just to give the mining, wood cutting, and fishing. I'm not intending that necessarily lock you into anything. It just kind of sets you up with whatever your starting quest is, sort of like your starting Pokemon, right? Where you can go out and end up catching all of them, but where do you want to start? How can I introduce gathering to you? As for fighting, this one, each character will be locked into one particular role. There will be many classes per role. So like for support, you could be a healer, you could be a bard, you could be like a certain type, like a cleric. For DPS, you could be the hunter, you could be a DPS warrior, you could be like a DPS druid. For tanks, you could be the tank warrior, you could be a paladin, you could be, at launch, I'm not going to make a commitment to how many classes we're going to have, but I will say we're going to have 3 roles. Now, the combat of the combat of Raccooth is the same combat we've been planning now for 5 months, from Pyro to Dura to this now. It's party based, a minimum of 3 characters, and I can see it going beyond in different dungeons or raids. A minimum of 3 characters band together and play. Much of that will be idle, right? And at a certain point, I'd like to make certain parts of it real time for folks that really want to sit down and grind through some combat. I think there is an excellent opportunity for that type of gameplay within this as well. But I also, for my own sake, enjoy making idle games. This is an idle friendly game. And so what you're going to do is you will be one character. Either folks from your guild or maybe just other players will fill the other 2 slots. And if there's not players available, there will be some NPCs. For those familiar with Guild Wars, it works pretty much like that, where once you leave town, you leave with a party of either NPCs or other players, and then you go about doing your questing. What's fun about this is, unlike IQ and Elithor and Queslar, where it's just your one character and your one stats, and everyone has roughly the same build when doing combat because everyone's trying to reach the maximum power to get through there. In this particular case, you are simply one of a trifecta, and there are many different compositions of a party that can get you through a dungeon. Right, and that's what I'm aiming. That's what I'm hoping to solve. And so when folks are concerned about balance or something like that, I'm not too worried about that. Not right now. I'd like to see what people come up with, and then of course we're going to correct, because if something's too out of balance and everyone builds towards that meta, that's not what I want. That's not what I want to achieve. What I want to achieve is diversity. I want some people playing mages. I want some people playing clerics, hunters, shamans, warriors, paladins, all this sort of stuff. There should be many different ways to get to the objective. And what's fun is that we're going to have these combat sequences, like dungeons or almost like labyrinths from IQ, that are themed, so that certain compositions of characters will do really well in certain situations. So I can imagine you pick up a party for a particular instance, and that's where you want to grind for the next couple days. But now you want to go do a completely, like, maybe that was an ice themed cave, but now you want to go to some necromancer's tower, and that's a whole different thing. So you want to bring people that do fundamentally, like, you don't need ice resistant armor or fire damage. You need necrotic, or like resistance to necrotic magic, stuff that does holy damage. You need to rearrange your party, and in this case, I like it. Even if you want to min max, there's not one universal build that can solve all of the there's not one universal build that can solve all of the puzzles. You need to be shuffling around your characters, shuffling around your builds. So I think that'll be fun. Anyway, that's what we're trying to do here. I do want to give folks the ability to idle up to 8 hours. I'm not going to have this. It's going to have actions, but the actions will always be eight hours with. That will always be your cap. I want people to feel comfortable that they can get a good full night's sleep, or a good if you work a standard 8-hour workday, and that's what it is. That's what you get right out the bat. It's never really extended. I think there's problems like in IQ where if you pay more, you can idle more, thus you accumulate more. That's a pay to win mechanic, and I don't want to do that. I want to give you 8 hours of idle gameplay, and I want you to return after that and see all the loot that you've accumulated within that 8 hours. So yeah, I think this will be I think a couple of the big things, and I've talked to some of the people that play Norroth. Some of them really like the hack and slash active play. Many other people wish it was more idle friendly, and I will say I've seen more people happy that the game lets you idle than I have seen people say yes, I want to grind back and forth, you know, kill the bunny, kill the goblin, whatever. You know, all the gathering is idle, all the crafting is idle. People want an idle game. So I'm going to make it visually look like, an incarnate map. We already have 2 musicians that are ready to start making some music for this, so I think that's going to be great. Some nice immersion there. We've got, like I said, plenty of sprite art, so I'm very excited about that. And with it being pirate themed and island themed, just like New World, gives us plenty of opportunity to tell, not New World, sorry, Lost Ark. You sail your ship to an island and you get a story that takes place, a quest series that takes place on that island. And those can be written by different people. I think it's a wonderful place to include folks that have wanted to get into game design and wanted to get into some narrative, some storytelling, stuff like that. So I'm excited about this. And we'll see where it goes. Raccooth, I'm hoping by the end of December, right? Launching in the new year. And it'll be bare bones. I mean, my God, it'll be a game that we done start to finish in 5 or 6 weeks. That'll be fantastic. I think that's better than almost any other game I've heard about. People, I think, Elithor was under development for a year before it came out. I may have got that wrong, but I know Norroth was under development for, its current, 9 years before we got its current version. And I just want to say, I think this has been an interesting experience for all of us to go through this. And I think it's been difficult for their staff. I think it's been difficult for the developer, who doesn't quite know how to deal with players who have opinions. I think it's been difficult for a lot of players to deal with this. Oh, he records for 5. I see. It records for 5 minutes and then it stops recording. Oh, that's interesting. I should see this. So if I just leave the browser open for 5 minutes, he'll record nothing for 5 minutes. Like if I just leave it here for 5 minutes. Oh, we should totally see this. Here, I'm gonna do this. Hold on, did it stop? No, there it is. I'm going to let this go, and we're going to see. I'm going to clear it out after 5 minutes, and then we're going to see if any more of these write commands come up. And if so, then he only records for like 5 minutes and then doesn't record anymore. That's so weird. So weird. I think as players, we try a number of different games, and we're usually not met with this level of hostility, juvenileness, right? We're met. I'm not going to say every game developer is an adult. Some of them are. Some of them, are under 23, under 24. They're still learning about this stuff. They've never been put in a position where all of a sudden they're in charge of how 100, 200, 400 people are going to be spending their time seeking enjoyment from a system that they are crafting. That's enormous pressure, right? And you see some of the ways folks talk to devs in IQ or Queslar. Of course, some of it's disrespectful. You gotta try not to take that personally. Are people gonna like Raccooth? Yes, some people will like Raccooth. Some people will hate Raccooth. Some people will think everything we're doing in Raccooth is wrong and should be done another way. That's great. That's their opinion. They're one person. They have the right to their opinion. They have a right to a voice. They don't have a right to make everyone else miserable. They don't have a right to be hostile and rude, right? A lot of the stuff, I remember one of the early games I did, I started playing a MUD when I was 11, multi-user dungeon. Imagine, WoW, but with just text. And right there on the login screen, playing this game is a privilege, not a right. It can be taken away from you at any time. You could be blocked, you could be banned. You have to recognize that. I think I saw some screenshots of Zod's communication last week. To Bala. Right? Someone screenshotted and shared it. It was predictable how that was going to end. The rules of Norroth are the same in almost every other Discord. You piss off staff, you can get banned, and they have the right to do that. There is no recourse. It doesn't matter how right you think you were. It doesn't matter if you had the last word. I'm not even going to say that the Raccooth chat, that the Raccooth Discord would have handled that any differently. An issue was brought up. Specifically, Zod brought up the video that I had posted about this exact spying issue 8 months ago. And how it wasn't addressed. And the staff didn't do anything wrong. I mean, in my opinion. Like, they could have answered him. Sure. Did they need to? No. Should he have been calmer? I will say that when you talk to people in a calm and respectful way, you do typically get better results. I will say, I am not surprised that Twin eventually banned me. I am surprised how long it took him. If only that I knew that my voice... And it was so funny. It was so funny. Like 2 days before, if you guys look back, I got banned on the, I guess the 15th, 14th? On the 12th, I believe, if you look back in the questions or the in channel, so something came up like the day before. Someone came in and made a suggestion that Norroth should have rested experience the way WoW does. And of course, Twin's initial reaction to this is, oh, you're asking for something without earning it? You want free experience? That's his reaction without asking what is this idea. He just immediately hostile out the gate. For those that don't know, WoW, World of Warcraft has a rested experience mechanic, which I think actually makes a ton of sense for Norroth, and I will absolutely be implementing it in Raccooth where it makes sense. Many online games suffer from the fact that certain players have more time to play the game, therefore they will get more experience, more drops, more loot, and pull ahead of other players. They're not necessarily better at the game, if whatever better is, but they are progressing more because they have more time. Then you have a group of people that do not have as much time, log in much less. How can these folks ever catch up to these folks? The people with fewer time. Now, there may not be a way that if you play 1 hour a day, you will be able to ever match with someone that plays 4, 6, 8 hours a day. Okay? The way rested experience works is you get bonus experience for a certain amount of time, right? Or a certain amount of bonus experience. And you can Google this for the exact details. But you have to log out in a like an inn or a rested location, and you'll notice this in your portrait. It has the Z's, right? So you can't like log out in the middle of a area you're fighting. You log out in an inn, which already takes extra time to go back to, right? So you can't log out right where you're trying to do your quests. But for the first whatever it is, the first thousand for the first 1,000 experience that you earn that day, you would essentially earn 100% more. So you'd earn 2,000. So the player that plays for 4 to 6 hours, whatever he's doing, maybe he plays for 30 minutes, earns 1,000 experience. This player plays for 30 minutes, earns 2,000 experience, right? So for their time, for their investment, they've earned more experience, and it's helped them not necessarily catch up, but not fall behind as much. It's a wonderful way to reward players to stay subbed to your game and not have this feeling like they're constantly falling behind. Norroth Combat requires you to actively play, and not everyone can be here actively playing the whole time. So myself and another player actually walked Twin through this feature, and he agreed at the end that sounds like a good feature for Norroth. The next day I got banned. But it is what it is. All right, anyway, I wanted to tell that story. I feel like maybe I was wrong with how this was going to be working. We're now at an hour and a half of the stream, and I think I'm going to call it here because I am interested in going to bed. But what I will say is that I'm looking at, I will be looking for anything that can help players feel like their time and their investment. You give me an hour of your time. Gosh, and I really hope I don't need that much to make the game interesting for you. I think if I could get 15 minutes of your valuable time as a player, 30 minutes of your valuable time as a player, 15 minutes like a day of your valuable time, and have that be introducing some sort of fulfillment or fun, that you look forward to logging into Raccooth, collecting your treasure, upgrading your gear, sending out your party to another dungeon, rinse and repeat, that would be amazing. I don't want you to spend hours grinding. I don't feel like people should need to do that. I would like to provide some mechanic in here that if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to play a game that was kind of like classic Final Fantasy or Pokemon, where you can like go in with a party and then select different attacks and whatever, cool. I'm interested in the coding challenge of putting that together, and there can be some reward or some drop system that allows for that. But I think the core game should be idle friendly. I want people that have to deal with school, that have to deal with work, that have to deal with their kids, to feel like they can play something that is graphically more interesting than, say, like IQ or Queslar, that they have a character. I think having a character is really a character that you can customize, that you can name, that you can have multiple characters, multiple builds, I think that's very fun, that you can go into this immersive world that has, music and graphics. I think that would be a lot of fun, and so that's what I'm hoping to do. And we're not going to get it right out the gate. We're not going to get everything right. That just has to be understood. But I'm anticipating that. I'm not sitting here saying I know everything, or that I'm going to do this perfectly, and I don't need your constructive feedback. If you don't like my game, there's something wrong with you. If you don't understand my game, then you just need to... I saw a player log in the other day. Was it in the... Where was it? It was either screenshotted to me or in the main chat. I forget what it was, but like this stupid teleport system. Like, do you guys see this? Like, what is it? What is it? Count progress? Yeah, this thing. This whole migrate thing. This whole thing is a scam. Yeah. And of course, they capped the stack size, and they didn't tell you at first. Oh, you guys can't even see this, which is probably better. We don't need to be looking at Norroth anymore. Anyway, the user clicked migrate, didn't understand. He was just trying to upgrade his teleport. All of a sudden, migrate, and the dev basically blamed him. Just said he should have read. I'm like, user experience is a discipline in web design for a reason. Just like front-end design, graphic design, right? Back-end coding, security, deployment, etc. Systems administration. User experience, or UX, is the discipline around what the user experiences. And it's not necessarily just visual, and it's not necessarily not visual, but it is that when you log into the game, do you know what to do? Are you having a good time? Is it clear? Is it confusing? If I click this button, will I regret it? If I click a button and the result is unexpected, that is bad design. I should not be able to do something and be surprised from it. Now listen, if the explanation was there and I chose not to do it, I chose not to, I just decided not to read the manual and click around, okay, sure. But also just like, to the best of your ability, trying to understand the game and it's still confusing, great. You need to improve your user experience. You need to Google specifically, how do I improve the user experience of my website, right? Of my game. I'm not an expert in any one of these disciplines. I know some in all of them, which means I'm capable of deploying a game. And after that, it's going to be iteration to perfect it. And it will never actually be perfect. I'm actually very much against perfectionism. It'll be iteration to improve it and improve it. And to be clear, what we think is going to work in 2023 may be different in 2025. Maybe we have different players. Maybe player expectations change, whatever. What I absolutely know is that we will not be doing microtransactions. We will not be doing pay to win. I would like you to immerse into a fantasy world and enjoy your time doing that. I want you to look forward to logging into the game and not feel like, oh gosh, I have to drop $5, $20, $100 this week in order to stay relevant. So, anyway, I've said enough for now, and we're gonna call that a night. So, yeah, thanks for listening. We just wanted to show this one more time. I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna see how long he wants. Oh, I should pop open my inventory just so he knows. Oh, I should switch over to my other character. That's gonna restart this whole thing. Which one is my Thunder character? Because I really wanted to say hi to him. I want him to have to watch. I mean, you guys have to understand. Twin is so busy. He is dedicating his time to watching videos of me playing the game. That's amazing. And so I wanted just to say, hi Twin. I tried, right? Oh, let's see. I'm trying. All right, there's the H, there's the I, the T. Ooh, maybe we move this over here, make that the T. The W took up a lot of space, and this I, and then this N. I tried to make it an N. Anyway, hi Twin. So we'll just leave that there for him. It'll make whatever video that he has to watch about it, which I think is just super cool. I love how I popped an experience thing like an hour ago and then didn't use it at all. So that is what it is. It's so valuable, so incredibly valuable, this game. All right, everyone have a good night. Come play Raccooth. Bye-bye.